Hello, you guys. Welcome to another episode of my podcast, Things Could Be Worse. I'm your host, baileydedrick, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about change. Yeah, we're going to be talking about letting go, basically just how to be open to new opportunity and to change that's happening, because at the end of the day, change is inevitable, and every single day we experience some sort of change, and it can be really, really scary. And I kind of want to dive into what I've been feeling in regards to all of this lately, just because I'm in a very big transitional period in my life, probably the biggest transitional period that I've ever experienced up until this point. I just graduated high school. My friends are going to be graduating soon. They're going to be going off to college. I'm going to be doing whatever the heck I decide to do. I'm not really sure yet. I'm kind of freaking out. But yeah, I didn't plan on talking about this at all. I honestly was going to talk about something completely different. If you could think of anything opposite of this, that's what I was going to talk about. I was not planning on talking about this. This might be kind of not a depressing episode, but it might get kind of deep, just because I am not kidding when I say that I'm freaking out. I have been thinking about this so much. This has been the only thing on my mind for the last year, and that sounds terrible, but it's honestly true. And I'm just a little scared. I'm just a little scared, mate. So yeah, let's get into it. I think I'm gonna, do my normal thing and start with some backstory, start with how I've been feeling in regards to this, and then hopefully we can talk through these things together and I can give you guys my input and my advice. I haven't really said this much, but if you haven't already, please rate the pod, leave reviews, whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I would really, really appreciate it. When you rate the pod, it really gets pushed out to new people, and I really want to continue to grow my audience on here and grow a nice little supportive family. So if you haven't, rate the pod, review the pod, and share with your friends and family. Yes, queen. Also, go follow the Instagram and the TikTok at Things Could Be Worse Pod on both of those. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, let's start with the fact that it is no secret that things have been changing for me, and I've honestly been very avoidant of it. I've been trying to, on one side of the spectrum, I have been so enthusiastic and excited, but then on the other spectrum, which I kind of keep hidden from the world, I am terrified, I'm scared, I am expecting the worst, and I honestly just don't know what to do about it. I've felt kind of lost for the last year or so, maybe even longer than that. Last year, I had a huge change in my friend group and the dynamic of my friend group. A bunch of my friends that I was really close with last year, they're all in school now because they're a year older than me. They're all away at college. Some of them are across the country, and that was a really, really big adjustment, just because, I kind of had to not force myself, but actually allow myself to get close with a new group of people. And it's been great, and I love everybody that I have in my life right now, but it's just it was hard, and it was change, and any type of change can be uncomfortable. So I feel that's kind of where it started. Things kind of just hit me all of a sudden. I was oh my God, all of my friends are going to school next week. What am I going to do? What am I going to do this year? And obviously I'm managing it and I'm making the most out of it and I'm having a great time and everything's fine. But at that time I was oh my God, I'm going to have no friends. All my friends just went to college. And luckily my boyfriend is still living here, so I have him. And then of course I have so many best friends, so many good friends in my own grade that are still here in my hometown. But for a hot second, I was very terrified about what I was going to do this year, just because I was losing a whole group of people that I had just spent the last 3, 4, 5 years with. So that was a big change. Moving past that, if we talk about just present day, where I'm at right now, like I said, I just graduated high school, which is a huge deal. And I mean, it's not a huge deal, it happens to everybody, but I mean, for somebody my age, graduating high school is pretty much the biggest accomplishment that you have completed up until this point. So, I mean, graduating, so fun, so great. I'm a little bit lonely, but I'm loving post-graduation life. I am able to keep myself very busy with all of my social media and now the podcast. And, I haven't had any issues with boredom or not being able to fill my time. But, I will say it gets lonely because I don't really see anybody besides my family and my boyfriend during the week. And then during the weekends, I will try always to get together with like my girlfriends and like my other friends. But for the most part, it is pretty lonely. And it's kind of sad. I don't know. Like I knew this was going to happen just because you go from like seeing your friends every single day at school and like interacting for 8 hours a day with people. And then now it's just like usually me home alone while my dad's at work or whatever the case is. So that's already been like a huge change. But what I'm worried about is when all my friends go to fucking college in like a few months. Like it is so close. And I genuinely, like, I never talk about this. I never let people know how scared I'm actually like feeling about it. But what am I going to do? And it's like, okay, well, Bailey, you should have figured this out. You should have made a plan. You should have applied to college if you're so worried about other people going to college. And it's not like that. Like, I don't want to go to college. I do feel like I'm going to miss out on a lot. But at the end of the day, I made the right decision. I'm not going to college for my quote unquote freshman year, whatever, when everybody's in college. I'm not going to school this upcoming fall. Like I said, I think I made the right decision. But at the same time, it's like, okay, yes, I want to pursue social media. I have a podcast that I'm working on. Me and my brother have started kind of, mixing up some plans for maybe a potential product release for like a potential brand that I want to start. I have so many ideas. That's the point I'm trying to share with you guys. I have so many ideas. I have so much on my plate. But at the same time, like, what am I going to do for fun? You know what I mean? What am I going to do for fun if I'm not at school? How am I going to make friends? Especially in my home, like if I'm still living here, how am I going to make any friends? I'm going to have to hang out with like 14-year-olds if I want to have friends because all my friends are at school. So that's like a huge thing that I'm trying to deal with. Like, yes, I'm going to be traveling and hopefully I'll be able to meet a bunch of new friends and social media and stuff like that. But like when, where, how? What am I going to do? What are these plans? Because they just don't exist right now. So it can feel very scary, but I try to remind myself that even people that are going to college and like have a opportunity to make friends and, have good plans and whatever, they're still feeling this way. Like it is all part of life. And it's just like how it goes. Like when something is happening where it's like a big change, like it's scary and it's uncomfortable and it's normal to be afraid of that. So I'm trying not to get like too in my head because like whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. And me overthinking it and thinking about the future isn't going to change anything unless I like actively pursue like making plans or like figuring my shit out, which I'm not doing. I'm just thinking about it. So I don't know. I'm just kind of struggling with that. And I have been for a while. Like basically, what am I going to do this upcoming year? Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to have fun? How am I going to make friends? Like this whole time I've been telling myself like, well, I'm not going to school because I'm going to be working like on my own stuff. But it's like, okay, so am I just going to be working 24/7? Like, what am I supposed to do? I feel like I keep running in circles and repeating myself. So I'm going to move on from this. I will say that right now I am kind of just like soaking in the last little bits before I actually have to get worried and like figure out what I'm going to do and like everybody leaves me. I definitely could do a better job of soaking in the moments because I still let myself, get a little ahead of myself when it comes to like my work and stuff. Like I'll stay in on a Saturday night with my friends and do work. And it's like, girl, what are you doing? You only have like 2 days a week now to see your friends now that you're not in school. Like take advantage of the time that you have to have fun and to make memories and to soak in these last few months of high school and everything like that with your friends. So I need to get better, but I have been kind of actively trying to get better with that and just like soak in every little last moment. But eventually I am going to have to just, let go. I'm going to have to let go of my past self. And it's kind of like it's a really hard thing. Like obviously not let go of my past self. Like I'm still the same person, but at the end of the day, like I am not the same person that I was even a few months ago. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing at all because I feel like I have truly grown so much and I've become way more comfortable with myself and just like the person that I am. So that's a positive. But it's like there's still like that little, 15-year-old me that is reminiscing on like past experiences with people that have literally like I haven't seen in a year. Like there's so much in my head that is just me reminiscing on the past and I need to let go of that and I need to like just be open to new things and to like actually find a way to progress like the fun in my life, I guess I would say. Like I am just so caught up in the past and I don't want to let go of it, but I know I need to, and that's why I'm so freaked out, I think. Yeah, I don't know, that's kind of what's going on with me. I literally am making no sense. I'm so sorry if this episode is like the definition of ADHD. I just feel like this, what I'm projecting to you guys, what I'm saying to you guys is literally what's going on in my head. So maybe if it's a little confusing, chaotic, all over the place, you guys might actually get a taste of what it's like to be inside of my head when it comes to this topic. I'm just freaking out. I'm freaking out. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but I'm freaking out. What am I going to do? Like that's all okay. No, not going to let myself freak myself out even more. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to move in to a little bit of advice, maybe. Is that the next step? I forgot how to record a podcast. I haven't even learned yet. Are these like good? Like, are you guys enjoying this, or is this like a piece of shit? Because I feel like the first couple that I did were very, very like over, like I was trying too hard, and I feel like this is kind of the first episode. I mean, the last one that I recorded was pretty chill too, but like this is the first episode where I feel like things are just like flowing, and I think it's because I don't have really anything planned out. I mean, I do have like a little outline here. If you're watching visually, you can see the little outline, but for the most part with the other, like the first couple episodes I did, it was very like structured, and that's very important when recording a podcast because you have to be very timely with like how long you're going to talk about stuff and like stuff like that, because it's very easy, especially for me, to like over talk and like just keep repeating myself, which I'm literally doing in this, but it's very easy to do that and then like record for like 2 hours extra, and then you just have like way too much and it's just like a pain. So like structuring, moral of the story, is very important. But like when I structure, I feel like I'm just like reading off a sheet and it isn't as personal. Like I just want to speak what's on my mind and in my heart and in my soul. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Let me know if you like more structured, or let me know if you like more just me rambling and talking. Because I kind of like this. It feels more fun. It feels more natural. So I feel like this is more like the long-term vibe for me. But if you absolutely hate this, then just let me know. Anywho, why is change so damn difficult? Sorry, that was aggressive. Why is change so difficult to handle? Why is it so hard to accept? Because at the end of the day, change is life. Change is happening everywhere. Every single day, you are encountering change, whether it's big change, little change, bad change, good change. You are experiencing change every single freaking day. That is a part of life. That is a part of progressing and learning and becoming the person that you're meant to be. Like, it is normal. But like, as used to change as we are, it's still terrifying. You know what I mean? Like, that's the reality. It's terrifying. It's scary. It's unpredictable. It's uncomfortable. It's scary. I don't know. It's really scary. It just like triggers a fear in our heads. I think there's like actual scientific medical evidence of like hormones or like different like centers of your brain. Like, I guess essentially from like the very little research or like shit that I've learned about change. When change is happening, you're basically like your brain puts you in fight or flight mode. It tries to protect you from the change because like in going back to like the beginning of humankind, change was always scary because like change could be like new predators coming into your territory and like threatening to kill you or like that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to get at. I am not a philosopher. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think it makes sense. Like your brain basically hates change, and there's hormones that are released to trigger that sort of adrenaline that you feel when like you kind of get freaked out about change. And I mean, that's kind of fucked up and stupid because, you know, I think that our brain should be able to adapt to change a little bit easier, make it a little bit easier on us, make life a little bit easier. But unfortunately, that is not the reality. I mean, some people listening to this or watching this might be like totally okay with change. That would be amazing. I wish that I could just be so open to change. I like to tell myself that I like change. I'm like, yeah, I don't really like routine. I don't like doing the same things every day. But then like you actually put me in a position where there's like big unpredictable change happening and I freak the actual fuck out. So I think that I just try to tell myself that I like change, but in reality I don't. But if you do like change, congrats to you, because I feel like that is such like a less stressful life that you're living. But anywho, I mean, I guess like just being human, we crave like comfort, we crave stability, and we crave like normalcy. Is that even a fucking word? You get what I'm trying to say. We crave like normal shit. And then like routine, like we thrive with a routine, most of us. And then when change happens, it messes all that up. It comes in like a fucking bulldozer, and it's like, you need to make a decision right freaking now. You need to figure out what you're going to do. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I feel like a lot of times when change is thrown at us, we anticipate the worst. You know, we're always going to the worst spot, and we feel like we can't handle whatever change is being thrown at us. And like I said a little bit ago, this can be big change, little change, good change, big change. That was so many times I just said change. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, but like a lot of times, at least for me, this is the way that my brain works. I always anticipate the worst. So right now, me sitting here looking out at my future, I am thinking to myself that I am going to be depressed next year. Why? I don't fucking know, but I'm literally thinking the worst. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be lonely. I'm going to be depressed. I'm going to literally hate the fact that I didn't choose to go to school or at least move or do anything. Like, I just am thinking the worst. And in reality, I am probably going to do so many fun things next year. You know, I am open. I have a free schedule. My work revolves around me and my schedule, and I can do it whenever the hell I want from wherever I want. So like, in all honesty, I could go do whatever I want, but it's just like, I think that it's going to be terrible. So like, I'm trying not to let myself think that it's going to be terrible, because then it actually will manifest itself into being terrible. So I'm really, 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 like I said, trying to just stay calm. But like, I don't know. I feel like I anticipate the worst all the time. And I try to be optimistic, and that's like a really important part of dealing with change, but it can be really hard. And if you guys are, you know, I know a lot of my listeners are younger, and a lot of people are talking about just starting high school. If you're just starting high school, or you're finishing high school this year, upcoming soon, or you're in college, or you're getting a new job, or there's any, you know, sort of big change happening in your life, and you're terrified and you're scared and you just feel very uncomfortable about it, I want you to know that's completely normal, and your feelings are valid. And I know like what it can look like from the outside, like looking into other people's lives. You might look around you and all your friends are dealing with the same change, maybe like whether that is starting high school or finishing high school or going to college, whatever. You might look around and be like, everybody is so calm. Like, everybody has their shit figured out. Why do I feel like I'm going insane? Why am I freaking out so much and everybody else is so chill about this change that's happening? And that's how I feel. I'm like, oh my God, like all my friends, like they seem so excited for college, and they're talking about their roommates, and they're so excited for the next year. But at the end of the day, they're also freaking the fuck out. They're worried. Are they going to find a good group of friends? Are they going to be able to make money? Are they able to find a job? Are they able to pass their classes? Are they going to be able to do all of these different things? So just because I'm freaking out in my situation doesn't mean other people aren't also. Like, they just aren't showing it, and I don't show it to like the outside world. Obviously, I'm talking to it to thousands of people right now, but like, I just want you to know, if you're also dealing with this sort of feeling where you're scared and you're, you know, worried about the future, it's completely normal, and you don't need to have everything figured out yet. I'm not no therapist. None of you thought that. I'm 18. And I literally never make sense. I never know what I'm talking about. I try to give advice on stuff and it literally never makes sense. Like, why are you guys listening? I'm always all over the place, and I just go with the flow and say whatever pops into my head on the spot. And that's just how things go here. So none of you thought I was a therapist. But with that being said, I kind of wanted to segue into what I was about to say. Of course, that's what a segue. Okay. Oh my God, I'm struggling. I don't know how our childhood traumas and like our childhood affects us as people. I know it has like a huge impact on us as we grow up and as we become adults, and how we even like navigate relationships and raise our children and like that. Like, you as a child affects you as an adult so heavily. I don't know like the science behind that, but it just gets like engraved to your head somehow. So a big part of how you deal with change probably comes from how you dealt with change as a child. And from what I remember, anytime like a big change happened, I was very avoidant and I was never optimistic about it. The first big change I ever remember happening in my life is definitely my parents' divorce. And like most kids, that kind of fucks you up a little bit. I luckily, like, my parents had a very, very, very clean divorce. There was no, like, I rarely ever heard my parents fighting. Like, when they got divorced, I was like, what? why? I mean, I was like 7 or 8, so like I don't actually like remember what I was thinking. But like looking back on it, like what the fuck are you guys getting divorced for? You guys are fine. Like you guys never fight. You like they just did a really good job of hiding it from me and my brother, which is so good, and I appreciate that from my parents so much, just because I know that some kids have to endure a lot of pain in childhood, and even as they grow up, just because their parents are so toxic and like they don't try to hide it all, and you're in the middle of their fights and you're dealing with all that. So I'm very grateful that my parents' divorce was so clean. But like when they got divorced, I was literally like, why are you guys getting divorced? Like, don't people get divorced because they hate each other? Like my parents did such a good job of not showing it. So anywho, that was like the first big change, and obviously that's a fat change. It's like your family is a cute little happy family taking family vacations to Destin, Florida, 1 year, and then the next you are living and it's not at all like that. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge change. And with that comes like moving. Sometimes when people's parents get divorced, you know, you sell your house and they each get a new place to live. In my case, my dad kept the house and my mom moved into a condo right away. And you know, custody was split 50-50, everything like that. So I don't even know why I'm giving you all of this, but it was just a big change, and I had to move into a new house. I had to adapt to having two houses. I had to, you know, figure out how to explain to my friends that, you know, my parents were not together. Like that was a really hard thing, because I mean, I feel like divorce is so common, and it was so common back then, but like I don't know what is in the air in this town, but I feel like a lot of my friends, like their parents are still together, like majority of them. You know what I mean? Like most of the friends, like my friends, that my close girlfriends, all of their parents are still together. Even like the guy, like everyone's parents are still together, and that's so good. I'm not complaining. I'm so happy that you guys are in happy families. I'm not like shitting on their parents. Sorry, I can't breathe. I'm going to take a drink of water because I'm getting all worked. It isn't a bad thing that their parents are still together. It's a great thing. But all I'm saying is like when my parents got divorced, it was so like new to me and like uncomfortable, because, you know, if I would have had like a few other friends whose parents were in the same position, or like whose families were in the same position, I would have been able to like relate to them and be able to talk about it with them. But like none of my close friends at the time, you know, were dealing with the same thing. So I just never really talked about it. And I really don't think that it affected me too negatively, just because of how clean it was and how like loving my parents are still to one another. Like, yeah, as I've gotten older, more shit has come out, and I've like heard more of the story behind their divorce and stuff like that. But like end of the day, they weren't meant to be together. It didn't work out, and I think that divorce is a beautiful thing in some senses. I think it sucks, but I think at the end of the day, like if you're not happy with someone, like it isn't worth it. And I'm very happy that they made the decision, because, you know, it probably could have been a lot worse if they would have stayed together. So literally, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? Why am I talking about divorce for so long? Oh, it was the first big change. ADHD. Someone diagnosed me right now. Yeah, that was the first big change that I ever experienced. Why was I even talking about that for so long? I don't know. Oh, okay, I am literally losing it. Yeah, so I was talking about like how things as a child affect you now. Yeah, so like I'm sure something within that divorce and me adapting to that change has affected the way that I navigate and view change now. You know what I mean? So I just think that if you really like analyze how you were as a child, or like what things you went through as a child regarding to change, you might be able to kind of see some similarities between how you navigated that as a child and then how you're navigating it now. I just feel like one of the most important things when it comes to being comfortable with certain things, whether that is change or that's navigating relationships or friendships or school or work life, like whatever we're talking about here, the biggest thing when it comes to getting comfortable with that is just being self-aware and understanding why you react to certain things the way that you do, and being able to, you know, pick up on patterns and pick up on self-destructive behavior and self-destructive thinking. And, you know, once you're able to kind of be self-aware about why you do things that you do and view things the way that you do, it becomes a lot easier to navigate certain situations. So I don't know, I'm still working on that because obviously I'm still incredibly scared for the change that's going to be happening in my future and the change that's happening right now. But I feel like that is step one, is really just becoming self-aware and realizing like, why am I so scared of the future? Why am I so scared of this happening? I actually wrote down a little list here on how to embrace change and, dare I say, actually enjoy change. No, there's only 4 things on this list, and I'm really hoping that like new things come to me as I'm talking, because I mean, I literally have 4 things left to talk about and then this podcast is essentially over, but I've only been talking for like 30 minutes and I need to record for like an hour. So we're gonna dive into some more. Hopefully it comes to me as I go. Number 1 is stop holding on to things that aren't serving you. I'm gonna say it again. Stop holding on to things that are not serving you. This is so important, and I need you to hear me loud and clear. It is okay to outgrow people. Yes, it is. It's okay to outgrow things. It's okay to outgrow sports, to outgrow hobbies, to outgrow relationships. It is okay, because like I've stated so many freaking times, change is inevitable and change is all around us and things are constantly changing. And along the way, you might find your interest changing. You might find your personality changing. You might find your beliefs and your what is it called when you care about something? Your goals? No. I don't know. Things are going to change. That's the point I'm trying to make. And people change at different rates. Let me give you guys a little scenario because I feel like this is very important and a lot of people might be able to relate to this specific scenario because I feel like it's a very like general and generic when it comes to like growing up and then like becoming an adult and stuff. Let's pretend you have this friend. You guys have been friends since childhood. You guys have been friends since elementary school, and you guys have always been so close. You're the best of friends. You love each other so freaking much. You do everything together. You're like little twin flames. You can talk to them about anything. You can say whatever you want without being judged. You guys just are literally the best of friends. You guys are friends all of elementary school, all of middle school, all of high school. That's a long time to be friends. And then something happens. Senior year. I just want you guys to know this is not me talking about anything personal at all. Literally, this is not, like, I'm literally making this up. But something happens senior year. And you start noticing that your best friend is like really kind of changing. You know, her personality is changing, her beliefs, her values, her goals, they are kind of changing. And yours are changing too. And you're more focused on your future and you're more focused on what you want to do and how you want to succeed. And you kind of look at you guys side by side and you're like, we really aren't that close anymore. When did this happen? Why are we so different now? And that is because when people grow up, you grow up at different paces. You know, you learn at different paces. You come to conclusions at your own pace. And you can't expect, just because you guys grew up perfectly fine together through elementary school, middle school, and the beginning of high school, you guys can't expect to live your whole life side by side. Like, that's not a practical thing to assume or think. And I know it sucks and I know it hurts to realize like you wanted to have this lifelong best friend, like you wanted to have this best friend since you were a little kid and you guys wanted to eventually go to college together and then graduate together and move to the same city and get married around the same time and have kids around the same time so your kids can be best friends and then buy a cottage in the summer and, you know, like share it with each other's families and like go up there, have so much fun and just, you know, plan out the whole thing. And you want this person in your life forever, but something along the way changed and you guys aren't that perfect little fit anymore. And that is okay. It's okay. We're not all going to be at the same place at the same time. And if you're growing faster than your best friend or your best friend's growing faster than you, or we can put this into a relationship sense, you guys might have had a perfectly healthy, happy relationship for 3 years. And then all of a sudden, things aren't seeming to click anymore. Things aren't the same. It's probably because somebody is growing faster than the other person. And when that happens, it's really, really hard to maintain that same relationship that you had because somebody is doing way more than the other person or way less than the other person. And there's just so much going on and you guys aren't on the same page. So it's really, really hard to continue having a healthy relationship. I don't know if any of this is making sense, but all I'm trying to get across to you guys is, you know, outgrowing people and outgrowing things is completely normal. And you don't have to feel ashamed. You don't have to feel like you did something wrong, or even that the other person or the other thing did something wrong. Like it isn't like a you did this or you did that or you didn't do this. Like it isn't like a negative thing at all. It doesn't mean that anybody did anything wrong. It just means that you simply are moving on from that stage in your life, from that point in your life, from that person. And you should be able to do that shame-free with full optimism for what you're going to find next, because we all deserve that. We don't deserve to be held back into negative spaces, or we don't deserve to be held back by the people around us. And if you're growing and somebody around you isn't, you need to let them go, or at least distance yourself, because nobody should be holding you back. Okay, number 2. Oh my God, I talked for so long on that first one. I'm sorry. Okay, number 2 is realize that change is progression, and it can be so exciting. It helps you grow, it helps you develop, and it helps you learn. Change is so important. Let's take an example of like hometowns. Hometowns is something that everybody can relate to unless you move around a lot and, you haven't had the luxury of staying in the same ugly ass city for your entire life. For a lot of us, we're younger and we've only ever, lived in one place or one or two places. And I haven't been able to actually actively leave my hometown for more than like a couple weeks at a time. But I plan on moving. I don't know if I'll end up back here one day. I mean, I hope not, because I hate the weather here. But I just feel like leaving your hometown at some point, whether that's literally moving states, whether that's moving countries, whether that's literally going like an hour away to a college. Like, it doesn't matter where you go or how far you go, but like I feel like leaving your hometown is so important, because if you're in your hometown, if you're in the same city for your entire life, you are not giving yourself the full potential to grow and develop and learn. And it's like, why not give yourself that? And I understand I want to be very, very, very sensitive about the fact that I know not everybody has the financial means to move out of their hometown. And I think that you can still grow and change and develop into a great person still being in your hometown. So many people do that. Some people never leave their hometown and they end up perfectly fine. But I'm just saying, to get the most out of life, I feel like, that big change of moving is really what helps a lot of people. And I know moving is scary, but like, I feel like it's really important. So yeah, there's just so many things that can be learned. And obviously so many people will tell you that like college is like some of the best years of your life. And I, maybe won't experience that. At least right now, I don't have structured plans of me going to school anytime soon. But I mean, I think it's just that transitional period in your life that is the best. You're still young enough where you don't have like full-time job responsibilities and family responsibilities and stuff like that. But you're old enough where your freedom is there and you are able to do pretty much whatever you want. And I feel like that's what makes it the best time. It's not the fact that you're actually in college attending classes. Like, yes, that's fun, and college parties are fun and bars are fun and everything like that. But I feel like it's just that period in your life, like, there's so much change and there's so much development happening that people look back on it and it's like, wow, I had so much fun. I did so much in college. But it's like, you did so much in college because you literally just went from being like a child living at home with your parents to being like a full ass adult in like a span of 4 years. Like, it's crazy. It's such like a transitional period. So I feel like that time in your life, there's so much change happening, but it's all good. And even like bad change, like things that are, sprung on you unpredictably, or like really things that are just like thrown at you that are difficult to deal with, even if it sucks and it's hard to deal with and it's scary, you're going to learn from that and you're going to take away something, and everything that you go through is making you a better person. So, I mean, you can just look at everything that way. Even if you don't want to be optimistic about it, just be like, I am learning something from this and I am becoming better from this. And that's really all that the human experience is. It's taking things that we endure and learning something from it and turning it into a positive experience, even if it wasn't a positive experience. Number 3 is trust yourself, your own opinion, and your gut feelings. This is something that is so freaking important and something that I really, really, really had to go in strong with this past year. When I made the decision that I wasn't going to apply to college, I got a bunch of backlash. If you guys watched my YouTube video where I talk about how I'm not going to school and I answer a bunch of questions about why I'm not going to school and what my future looks like as of right now, like, I made it very clear in that video that I got a bunch of backlash from people my age, even like parents, staff members at my school, comments on videos and posts on social media. Like, I did get a lot of backlash. People were very, very weary about my own decision. And to that, I say, why the fuck are you so worried about me? Like, I went with my own opinion. I trusted my gut. I trusted myself. And I really sat down with myself. I sat down with myself for like 2 straight years thinking about whether I was going to apply to college. I thought about it and I sat on it and I really, really, really like laid out the pros and the cons. And at the end of the day, I decided that what I thought was best for me was to not apply to go to college right away. I think that that's still the right decision for me. I mean, obviously we haven't really gotten to that point yet. Like my friends haven't actually left for school and I haven't, made it to that point yet, but I think that I made the right decision and that's the right decision for me. And it might not be the right decision for you, obviously. Moral of the story is trust your own feelings, trust your own thoughts, trust yourself, and always go with your gut feeling. Do not let what your parents, what your friends, what your boyfriend, what social media, what your school, what anybody says affect you, because at the end of the day, you're the only person living your life. Nobody around you is living your life. So you need to do everything that you want to do and do not let anybody and what they have to say get in the way of that, because that is not fair to yourself. You need to go out there. You need to live your best life. You need to make decisions for you. And if you don't do that, then you're not even living life. You're not living life. You deserve to live life, girl. You know what I mean? Do things because you want to do them, not because other people are telling you to do them. I could go so much farther into that one, especially gut feelings. Like, let me tell you, always trust your gut. Like, God gave us, whether you believe in God or not, God gave us this ability, this intuition. And what are you doing not following it? Always follow your gut feeling, bro. Like I can't even tell you the amount of times that my gut has been right about something and I haven't listened to it. And then I've thought back and literally hated myself. Like, I knew this was going to happen. Why didn't I, actively change that before it happened? Like, I knew this was going to happen. And then there's been times where like I could feel something was off. I listened to my gut and I saved myself from a bad situation or a bad relationship or a bad friendship, whatever the case may be. I've saved myself so many times because of what my little tummy, my little gut is telling me. So you guys need to do that, because I feel like if you really sit with yourself and meditate in your emotions and feel the energy around you, whatever decision that you're trying to make, whatever change is happening in your life where you have to make a decision or you have to make plans or you have to do something different, you will figure it out. If you just sit there, think about it, talk to people about it, really just let yourself take your time. And I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. You guys get what I'm talking about though, right? You just got to trust yourself, baby girl. And you will figure it out. You will figure it out. No matter how long it takes, no matter what you have to go through to get to that point, you will figure it out. Number 4 is take care of yourself. This honestly should have been number 1, because this is the most important thing. This is the most important piece of advice I could give anybody ever regarding any situation. Taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally is literally the most important thing that you'll ever do. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot be happy. You cannot adapt to change. You cannot be comfortable. You cannot love yourself. You cannot love others unless you're taking care of yourself. And I don't mean like this stupid bullshit of like self-care. Like, that is not taking care of yourself. Doing a face mask, yes, it's taking care of yourself, but it's not taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself means getting enough sleep at night, having healthy, productive routine that isn't overwhelming, that doesn't make you feel like a piece of shit if you do one thing wrong, doing things that make you feel good, and sticking with things that you love, and surrounding yourself with people that love you and that you love and that you can talk to, and just truly living your life for you and doing things that actively make you a better person is taking care of yourself. Taking time alone, learning to be okay alone. I will do a whole episode on learning how to be okay alone if that's something you guys are interested in, because I truly feel that so many people are scared to be alone and they have this like underlying fear of being lonely. And yes, being lonely sucks and it's scary, and it can definitely be a bad thing. Like, it can get to a point where it's a bad thing, but I also feel like you learn so much about yourself when you're alone. And I will say, over the last like 1.5, 2 years of my life, I have really prioritized my alone time, and I've learned how to be okay with being alone, and I've learned how to really enjoy being alone. Not just be okay with it, but enjoy it. Like, I can truly like sit alone all freaking day by myself in my house. I could sit here, literally in this chair all day and be perfectly fine because I've learned how to, be able to navigate my own thoughts, because a lot of people are scared to be alone and they don't like being alone because you're alone with your thoughts. And that can be scary. I know that some thoughts can be scary, but like I can be here and I can be content with myself and I can keep myself busy and I can love myself. I don't need to be around other people to feel loved or to feel happy. Like I truly learned how to bring that out of myself and just be able to provide myself with that happiness and that love. And I feel like that's because I've gotten so good at taking care of myself and giving myself what my body needs and what my mind needs. And I feel like that's a really important part of dealing with change, because if you're not strong mentally and physically and emotionally, of course, change is going to be very, very hard and it's going to feel crushing. Like it's going to feel world and soul crushing, because it's like, oh my God, I'm not stable with myself. I'm not comfortable with myself. I don't love myself. I'm not happy with myself. How am I supposed to be happy with this new situation? How am I supposed to go on to college and be happy with myself if I'm not happy with myself now here? Listen, we just need to take things slow. We need to take things day by day, and we need to focus on the things that really matter to us and focus on our values and our beliefs and really just choose ourselves every single day. Because if you're doing those things, like, yeah, change is still going to be scary, but like you're going to navigate it. You're going to figure it out. And I don't know, like I'm kind of sick of giving you guys advice and I kind of want to talk about my own self again. But like, no, I feel like this was a really good episode, and I'm not going to be completely done yet because I don't feel like I've been talking long enough. I don't know. It's hard to keep track, but I just think that there's so much beauty in change. And I know, like, there's all these TikToks that keep coming up on my For You page, and I know that some of you might not believe in this and that you're going to say that's some weird voodoo shit that you don't believe in, but like spirituality and like tarot cards and like the energy of the universe and moon phases. I'm not like a crazy spirituality girly. I don't like follow it that heavy or like learn about it that heavy, but like I will interact and engage in some TikToks here and there and really learn about, like, I don't know, I just think it's fun to learn about, and I think that a lot of it checks out. And I mean, it makes sense. Like everything around us is energy, and everything in the universe is energy. So of course there's going to be energies, like there's going to be different things that affect us and like our energy. It makes sense, to be honest. But anywho, there's all these TikToks coming up, and it's like tarot card girlies or like people giving me like therapy sessions. And it's like, how the do you know that about me? It'll have 200,000 likes, and everybody in the comments is like, why is this hitting so close to home? And why is this, like, why are you explaining me word for word? Like, you know me so well and I don't even know you. Like, what is going on? It's because we're all the same. It's because we all experience the same things. It's because literally no one has a unique experience. Like, have you ever seen those TikTok where it's like, oh my God, like I thought I was the only one that did this. And then it's like literally everybody in the comments was like, oh my God, I've never had a unique thought. Yeah, we're all the same. We're all the same. And I keep getting these, that's not even what I was trying to say, but like I keep getting these TikToks and it's like change is coming. And that's kind of why I started spiraling and then thinking about this episode. Literally 4 different TikToks just today. Change is coming. You know, you have been stuck in this cycle for a while where you feel lost. I'm like, okay, this is me. This is so me. Like, oh my God, how do you know me this well? No, but like, change is coming. You're coming out of your cocoon. You are about to step onto one of the most amazing journeys of your life yet so far. Like, so much fun is happening. You are going to be like stepping into a period in your life where you really, really love it and you're really excited about it. And I mean, it makes sense. Like, this is going to be like the most transitional period. Like, I'm going to have so much free time when my friends leave. And it's like, it really makes sense. It checks out. But then at the same time, like, even if I wasn't in this particular situation, like, that can relate to anybody. And that's what I think we fail to realize, is that we can step into change. We can actively try and make changes in our life. We can step into the best part of our life. We can do all of this. This is all in our own ability. Like, we can literally do whatever we want. And I think we all forget that. Like, whether you believe in free will or not, like, we kind of have free will. You know what I mean? You can cut people off. You can make new friends. You can go do whatever you want. Like, you literally can. And like, this isn't groundbreaking information, but if you really sit there and take that in, like, oh my God, I can literally do whatever I want. Obviously, like, there's parents and laws and stuff like that getting in the way of us, but like, I mean, we can really essentially do whatever we want. And I don't know where I was going with that. I feel like this episode is so bad. Do you guys hate me? Are you going to stop listening to the podcast? If this is your first time ever listening, I promise my episodes usually aren't this all over the place. They're literally, or usually a little all over the place, but not this bad. This is pretty bad. I think it's kind of fun though. I'm having fun. This is actually probably the most fun I've ever had recording an episode, which is probably hard to believe for you guys because I keep getting frustrated at myself. But I'm getting frustrated because like I don't want you to think it's bad. Oh my god, my people pleasing coming out right now. What else should we talk about? Let's talk about what I'm doing tonight. Yeah, let's do that because I need to wrap this episode up kind of soon. Maybe I don't even know how long I've been talking for. I think I've been talking for over an hour, which is probably pretty good. I don't know. I haven't like figured out the logistics yet of like how long I need to record for or how long, like how, like, you know what I mean? Like I haven't figured any of this out. Anywho, what am I doing tonight? So I am going to finish recording this little epi, and then I'm going over to my mom's house because I need to let out the doggies and feed them dinner. Also, I think there's tacos for me there, so that's fire. And then what else? Oh, I'm going to a party tonight. Woo woo, taking advantage of these last few months of high school parties before I'll never experience them again. That's so fucking sad. That is so sad. If you're in high school, I really encourage you to go to parties. I'll do a whole episode on like high school parties and like my story times and stuff. And, you know, I kind of need to give like political answers a little bit when it comes to high school parties because it does oftentimes include illegal substances for underage kids. And I don't think I'm allowed to say that like to encourage that. I don't encourage it. I winked. You couldn't hear it or you couldn't see it. No, but I would say if you're in high school and you don't like actively go to parties, that's okay. Like you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. But I will say if it's something you're on the fence about, high school parties are a shit show. They're full of drama. They're full of shit talking. They're full of people getting wasted off their ass. But it's fun. It's fun. And some of my best memories are from parties that I literally, like, I didn't even know half the people. I don't care. I'm just happy to be there. You know what I mean? And you don't need to drink. You don't need to smoke. You don't need to do anything. Like, you can just be there. I mean, you can still, like, technically get in trouble for that. So keep your running shoes on in case the cops pull up. But, like, you don't have to drink. You don't have to participate in any of these things to go to a party. You don't have to participate to have fun. That's the one thing that I've kind of, like, not even learned because like when I was little and like people would talk about peer pressure, like my parents would talk about peer pressure, they would talk about peer pressure in shows and movies, and they would talk about peer pressure at school so much. I have never experienced peer pressure outside of like my friends like joking, like I know they're joking. Like I don't know if it's because I'm so secure with myself and I truly don't do shit that I don't want to do. And when I do, actually I have seen it. I have seen it a few times with like younger kids, which is so fucked up. Like people in my grade that I'm not friends with, I would not be friends with people like this, but like people in my grade or like older, like they'll pressure like freshmen to do some stupid shit. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing that for? I have stood up for like multiple, like literally stop. Why are you trying? Like if he doesn't want to, if she doesn't want to, like what? Let it be, bro. Like it's not funny. But I will say like peer pressure, at least for me in my school and the people that I've surrounded myself with, really does not exist to the extent that I thought it was going to growing up. Like I thought I was going to pull up in high school first day. Someone was going to fucking hand me a bong and be like, rip the fuck out of this or you're a little you know what I mean? Like I thought that that's what was going to happen. Or like somebody was going to like pour vodka down. Okay, this is getting weird. I don't know, but I'm going to a party tonight. It's not really like a party. It's just like me and my friends hanging out on a Friday night. What day is it? Yeah, Friday. Yeah, I wouldn't consider it a party, but it's like my normal friend group and then like a few other people that normally don't come. So it's like a little bit more fun. I don't know, but that's pretty much what's going on with me. Besides that, I'm not really doing anything else this weekend. I mean, I'll probably figure something else out to do tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, rate the pod, review the pod, follow the socials. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this type of episode where I'm kind of just talking and not really worrying about what I'm saying, or if you do prefer like a more scripted, structured episode. Oh my God, what would a Things Could Be Worse podcast be without a burp in it? I don't burp that much. That's what I don't get. I think it's all the talking, because I never talk for this long, like just straight talking. I think it's the talking so much that like causes air to get into my stomach or something, and then I burp. Or it's like the 2 energy drinks that I chugged before this, probably that. I don't know. I really love you guys, and I mean this from like the literal bottom of my heart. I feel like I haven't really said that or expressed that on the pod that much. I express it all the time on my YouTube channel, but like people that take the time out of their day to watch me or to listen to me, I literally cannot believe it. It baffles me still. Like, how do you care what I have to say? Like, I'm just like normal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just so normal. And I feel like a lot of people on social media, they're living like this super crazy like influencer lifestyle, or they're hanging out with other influencers, or they're in like huge cities and stuff. And you know, I'm still just in my hometown, going to a high school party tonight with my hometown friends. And even if that does change someday, which I hope it changes because I don't want to be here, I will always be this same person, even if I'm surrounding myself with new people and I might be presenting differently on social media. I mean, I would never actively try to do that. But like if something were to happen someday and I just, you know, I don't want to hear the "she's changed" comments, because I know deep in my soul that I will always be this. I mean, I'll change and I'll develop and I'll learn and I'll grow, because as we've learned from this episode today, change is inevitable. But like at the end of the day, I'm always just going to be this realistic bitch that just wants to help people and motivate people. And I truly feel like my purpose on this earth, not to get like even more deep, but like I feel like my purpose is to inspire people and just get people to love themselves, because I mean, there's not enough love in this world. There's not enough love at all. Not enough people love themselves. Not enough people are confident with themselves, and it makes me so fucking sad. So I feel like it's my job to do as much as I can to promote that in people and to encourage people to take the steps to love themselves and to care for themselves. So yeah, I don't know why I'm talking about this. I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you guys next episode. Bye-bye.